Did 12 years.
12
got
years?
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he.
Following a recent federal arrest tied to an August 2022 shooting and attempted murder targeting rapper Quando Rondo, OTF leader Lil Durk has been taken into custody. This development signals what could be a turning point in the rapper's career, as he now faces the possibility of a life sentence if convicted. The gravity of the charges has drawn national attention, with many questioning what lies ahead for the Only the Family OTF collective.
There are now 5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago.
According to official court documents, Durk, legal name Durk Banks, was booked into Broward County Jail. The indictment, filed by the U.S. District Attorney's Office in Los Angeles, alleges that Durk and 5 other individuals conspired to commit murder for hire. Prosecutors claim the operation resulted in death and involved the use of a machine gun, which elevates the severity of the charges. If found guilty, Durk could face the statutory maximum penalty: life in federal prison. The indictment alleges that Durk and the other OTF affiliates arranged travel across state lines to carry out the targeted shooting. The victim was identified as a close associate of rapper Quando Rondo, and the event took place in Los Angeles during the summer of 2022.
One thing about it, he's gonna protect me with anything, which anybody should do.
Investigators believe the incident was an act of retaliation, specifically for the 2020 murder of King Von, Durk's longtime friend and collaborator. That confrontation, which erupted outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, set off a chain of violent events that federal authorities now say are linked together. As this case unfolds, attention has turned to the evidence the federal government may present. Authorities are expected to argue that this is not an isolated case, but part of a broader pattern tied to organized criminal activity under the guise of a music label. Stay tuned as we continue breaking down the charges, the timeline, and the key players involved in what is quickly becoming one of the most high-profile federal cases in hip-hop history.
Durk has been locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now.
Federal prosecutors appear to be moving with precision in their case against Lil Durk. Now that multiple OTF affiliates have been indicted and arrested in connection to the August 2022 shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin, the connection to Durk seems more direct than ever before. While early rumors speculated about whether an informant was involved, the volume of digital evidence and financial trails suggest the feds may not have needed inside cooperation at all. As soon as the 5 OTF members were apprehended, speculation grew regarding when federal authorities would formally name Durk. Observers pointed out that Durk's name was omitted from the initial round of charges, likely due to investigators working behind the scenes to solidify their case. Once that happened, federal agents moved in with a sweeping arrest that has since shaken the music industry.
He got a whole story behind him, know what I'm saying? He from O Block.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying? That should speak for itself. But know what I'm saying? He just real. Know what I'm saying? His music, he just a real nigga, just I fuck with him. Know what I'm saying? It's my brother, twin.
DJ Academics, known for reporting on breaking developments in the hip-hop world, confirmed the arrest quickly after it occurred. He tweeted that Durk had been arrested by U.S. Marshals and was being held at Broward County Correctional Facility. He awaits extradition to California, where he will face a federal charge of murder for hire in connection to the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab. Further details from the indictment frame OTF as more than just a music collective. The document suggests that the organization operates as a criminal enterprise, with a structured system of rewards for carrying out targeted killings. According to the filings, co-conspirator 1 placed bounties on individuals, and those who participated in the violence were promised music opportunities within OTF. In this case, TB, believed to be Quando Rondo, was reportedly targeted with one of these bounties.
Sure, ma'am. But a chain, ma'am, ma'am, when it come to jewelry, ma'am, only people with bad intentions who clout chasing and stuff looking to try to take a nigga chain. Ma'am, a $50,000-$60,000 chain, ma'am, like a go buy that. That's $50,000-$60,000, like that's not nothing.
Court records point to co-conspirator 3 as someone who funded the operation. That individual allegedly used an OTF-linked credit card to purchase airline tickets and book hotel accommodations for those involved in the plot. The account connected to the card was registered under a business partially owned by Durk's former manager, while another card linked to the same account was reportedly issued to Durk's father. Despite what appeared to be a calculated plan, the indictment claims that the attempted hit did not go as expected. According to official documents, 2 defendants, identified as Jones and Lindsay, fired multiple rounds at TB, but ultimately ended up killing his associate, referred to in the filing as SR. The case is still developing, but as evidence mounts, it's becoming clear that the federal government is preparing for a high-stakes trial that could have far-reaching consequences for Lil Durk and the future of OTF. Following the August 2022 shooting that claimed the life of Lil Pab, a known associate of rapper Quando Rondo, details from the federal indictment continue to uncover how the operation unfolded and how federal authorities linked it back to OTF and potentially to Lil Durk. According to the indictment, Lil Pab, referred to as SR, was the passenger in TB's vehicle. For those following the case closely, it's clear TB refers to Quando Rondo, and SR is shorthand for his cousin Lil Pab, who was tragically killed in the attack. Federal documents cite Overt Act No. 2 from the indictment, stating that on August 18, 2022, at least one or more conspirators, including co-conspirator 4, became aware of Quando Rondo's presence in Los Angeles and his hotel location. The implication is that someone close to the operation intentionally leaked his whereabouts, leading to the ambush. While co-conspirator 4's identity remains redacted, the streets quickly began speculating about the informant's identity, and rumors began to swirl regarding betrayal within close circles. According to prosecutors, the attack was coordinated with military-style precision. The squad used 2 separate vehicles, one of which was untraceable with no registered license plates. Together, they tracked and followed Rondo's vehicle to a gas station in Los Angeles. Once in position, they opened fire, allegedly discharging at least 18 rounds into the vehicle. Lil Pab was struck multiple times and died from his injuries. Following the shooting, the assailants regrouped at a restaurant, divided the payment, and then booked flights back to Chicago using a credit card tied directly to an OTF financial account. This blunder added another solid piece of evidence to the government's growing case. In a dramatic shift, the trial date for Lil Durk was postponed from January 7th to October 2025. The official reason cited was the extraordinary volume of discovery materials, over 230 gigabytes of digital evidence, more than 20,000 pages of case documentation and various photographs, witness accounts, and forensic reports. However, sources suggest a more pivotal reason: a newly unsealed FBI affidavit filed by an agent in Chicago. This affidavit connects Durk to a separate murder-for-hire plot from 2022 involving the death of Stefan Mack, a reputed Gangster Disciples member. The alleged motive? Retaliation for the murder of Durk's brother, D-Thang, who was gunned down outside a Chicago strip club in June 2021. Text messages and social media conversations cited in the affidavit suggest that payments were offered in exchange for Mack's execution. Though Durk has not been charged in the Stefan Mack case, the affidavit played a critical role in denying his pretrial release. Prosecutors argue that this document further proves the risk Durk poses, alleging an ongoing pattern of violent retribution and organized retaliation. They claim he continues to target rival gang members in connection with his brother's killing. The tragic reality is that much of this stems from the ripple effect of the 2020 murder of King Von. When fans launched the Slide for Von campaign, calling on Lil Durk to avenge his late friend. The weight of public pressure may have collided with a volatile history of street loyalty and unresolved vendettas. Prosecutors now argue that the murder-for-hire charges connected to Lil Durk stem not only from isolated incidents, but from a deeply entrenched feud stretching back years. At the heart of this ongoing conflict lies the altercation between King Von and Quando Rondo's entourage in November 2020, an incident that resulted in Von's tragic death in Atlanta. Authorities believe this pivotal moment serves as the emotional and strategic catalyst for the events that followed, including the 2022 Los Angeles shooting that killed Lil Pab. The significance of Von's death isn't just legal, it's cultural, emotional, and symbolic. A YouTube comment summarizing public sentiment highlighted this, noting that what began as a spontaneous, ego-driven fistfight has now spiraled into a prolonged cycle of revenge, loss, and potential life imprisonment for Lil Durk. The commentator's words reflect a broader societal frustration. It's even more pathetic to see that what is left of that unfortunate occurrence is nothing but a bowl of consequences that Durk might live with for the rest of his life. To fully grasp why Lil Durk is now being implicated at such a high level, it's necessary to understand the profound connection he had with King Von, often referred to as his evil twin. Their relationship wasn't just professional, it was personal, born from shared trauma, survival, and brotherhood within the same unforgiving Chicago environment. Durk, legally known as Durk Derek Banks, was born on October 19, 1992, in the Englewood neighborhood on Chicago's South Side, an area known for its high crime rates and gang conflicts. With his father incarcerated when he was only 7 months old, Durk faced instability early on, and his exposure to street life heavily influenced both his worldview and music. Yet music became more than expression. It became an escape route. King Von, born Davin Daquan Bennett in August 1994, was raised in the O-Block section of Chicago, another infamous hotbed of gang activity. Von's path mirrored Durk's in many ways, marked by constant brushes with the law, the loss of close friends, and a deep entrenchment in street culture. However, what set Von apart was his innate ability to tell vivid stories through rap, which quickly elevated him in local circles. Recognizing Von's raw talent and authenticity, Lil Durk brought him into the fold under the Only the Family OTF imprint. But more than just music, their relationship became a powerful alliance. To both, trust was invaluable, especially in an environment where betrayal was common and violence was expected. In each other, they found that trust. As their careers surged, their loyalty to each other only deepened. So when Von was killed in 2020, it wasn't just the loss of an artist, it was a deeply personal blow to Durk. Prosecutors suggest that emotional trigger may have set in motion a calculated plan to exact revenge, explaining the precision and motivation behind the 2022 murder-for-hire plot. This theory, combined with wiretaps, financial records, and text messages, is forming the backbone of the federal case. The latest twist in the federal case against Lil Durk involves a betrayal that has sent shockwaves throughout the hip-hop community. Reports have now surfaced that the alleged informant at the center of the case is none other than a longtime OTF affiliate, known as OTF Jam. Allegedly, Jam wore a wire for several years, gathering audio and intel that would ultimately be used to build the indictment against Lil Durk and several other OTF members. The internet erupted when the news broke, not just because of the implications, but also the mystery around how Jam reportedly pulled it off undetected for so long. Online discussions were quick to offer theories. One comment joked, "He was hiding the wire in that big forehead," while others gave more grounded takes, explaining that modern technology allows for highly discreet recording devices. In today's era, it's possible to conceal a wire in everyday objects or even use a smartphone, making traditional bulky surveillance tools obsolete. Still, what truly shocked fans and insiders was the history between Lil Durk and Jam. According to multiple sources, During Jam's incarceration, Durk supported his family, helped with legal expenses, and even gave him over $50,000 upon his release. For someone who had received that level of loyalty, to allegedly cooperate with federal authorities has stirred debates about loyalty, trust, and survival in the streets. This development gained more traction following an interview with Wack 100 and DJ Vlad. Vlad noted that Jam had served a 12-year sentence for attempted murder and was released in 2022, coinciding with the murder of Lil Durk. Allegedly, it was after this that Jam began wearing a recording device, further building the case against the OTF circle. An old interview with DJ Jerry resurfaced, in which OTF Jam spoke about his bond with Durk, recalling the early days when Durk's music uplifted him during difficult times in prison. He emphasized how Durk supported him emotionally and financially, calling him bro, and expressing gratitude for the opportunities given to him after his release. Yet, despite Durk rapping about being able to detect betrayal, it appears this one caught him completely off guard. Commenters pointed out the cruel irony of being betrayed by someone nurtured within the fold, highlighting that, in the end, it's not the enemies, but the ones closest to you who can inflict the deepest wounds. The collapse of Durk's inner circle isn't just about legal charges. It's a story of internal fracture, betrayal, and the risks of building an empire on shaky foundations. As this saga unfolds, the hip-hop community is left grappling with the age-old question, who can you really trust when loyalty is currency? If you found this story compelling, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on this developing case. And for more videos breaking down the biggest headlines in hip-hop, click the card on your screen now.